Well, good evening, good evening. How's everybody doing out there? Let me see here. Hello, hello. Put that on mute. Sassafras Red is saying the snow has mostly melted. Wow. It's completely melted here. I saw Sassafras Red's video already. He got some snow out his way. We got some on the 20th. I got it on video, but it's not up yet. And of course, frost this morning, but now it's 58 degrees, but they say it might get down to around 37 or so tonight. But after that, hopefully, we'll be done with the frost for the year. So what is everyone up to out there? Let's see. Sassafras Red says, nipped our grapes. We'll see tomorrow about our fruit tree. Oof. Yeah, we got some dead leaves on the pecan trees. They were already starting to put on leaves and tassels and everything else. So we've had some dead leaves on those. The new ones that I just transplanted, they were already putting on some leaves, and those leaves have died, or they look like they're dying back. Sancho pepper lost some leaves, but not all of them. Some of the red buds lost some leaves. So, I mean, it wasn't a light frost. It was a pretty serious frost. But I learned my lesson. I did not put my tomatoes out yet. Hello, Robert Homestead Aquarius. Hello, Sassafras Red. Hello, Trusting God First and Freehandly Made. And Mary is Tulsa Fox. Hello, hello, hello. So if you follow that link that I put up there we go, up there at the top of the chat, you can get to the Old Farmer's Almanac section where you can plug in your zip code, and they will give you your first and last frost dates as a historical average. And that's the key part here. It's a historical average. It's not the actual first and last frost dates, because they'd have to be psychic to be able to know what those are. But they can give you a rough guesstimate based upon what they've been in the past. Yep, Robert, that would be me. I lost a bunch of tomatoes and shed boars last year, and peppers, and a whole bunch of other things. It was not a pretty picture. So this year they're staying back there in the seed starting area and not going out until tomorrow, because I think from tomorrow on we should be okay. I could be wrong, but I think from tomorrow on we'll be okay. But whenever I plugged in my my zip code at the Old Farmer's Almanac, I got April 9th as our last frost date. Crazy weather we've been having. Yeah, Mary is saying groundhog too. Yeah, we lost a little over 400 pounds of food to that groundhog, and we still have something munching on our alliums out there. Mary was out there videoing while I was doing what was I doing? Planting lentils, I think, the other day, and she heard something behind her, and she turned around. She had her phone with her. She turned around and was videoing, and she saw one of the walking onions start to wiggle, and she watched as it just sort of dropped down into the ground a little bit and went to go check. And sure enough, it looks like maybe a rat was under there, just nipped the bulb underneath the onion and ate an onion right there in front of us while we were right there, less than 5 or 10 feet away from it. Nasty little boogers, those rodents. So I'm going to try to spread some more of those repellent granules out there. I don't know if that's going to work or not. I'm going to see if I can get some mothballs, and of course I'll probably sit out there with the air rifle and see if I can snipe a couple off. Oh my goodness. So what has been going on with the weather? You may have heard about grand solar minimum. I'm sure that's come up in your feed, or somebody has mentioned it a time or two. But if you want to know what makes it happen, I happen to have the information on that. Oh, hi Tina. Hi Tina Ladybug. How is everybody doing tonight? Well, volcano does have something to do with the current weather, but not the grand solar minimum. Well, I guess in a way it does because for some reason volcanoes always happen whenever there is a solar minimum. They kind of go hand in hand for some reason that may have to do with cosmic radiation. Who knows? But that would be speculation. What we do happen to know is there are cycles where the sun has large amounts of sunspots, solar flares, solar activity, puts out a lot of radiation, and then it lessens and then gets stronger and weaker, and it goes in cycles. So we'll have a peak, what they call solar maximum, and then a minimum, and that happens every 13 years or so, give or take. But there are greater cycles within those periods. And somebody figured out a while back what causes those cycles to occur. And it's very much like whenever you have high tide and low tide, which we know is caused by the movement of the moon around the earth. This pulls on the gravity of the moon, pulls on the water, and causes tide to be higher at different times and lower at different times. Well, it turns out that the planets in the solar system exert a minor gravitational pull on the sun. And just like the moon having a minor gravitational pull upon the water on the surface of the earth, the planets going around the sun have a minor gravitational impact upon the plasma in the corona of the sun. And that causes the sun to have essentially tides. So whenever the planets are lined up just right, so they're all exerting their microgravitational influences at the same time, you have a greater effect of a minimum or maximum. And then whenever they're more dispersed, there's a lesser effect. And that's the reason why we have cycles where we can have the grand minimums and grand maximus. It's all about the tidal influences of the planets. So those old astrologers that were keeping track of the movement of the planets were doing it because they wanted to know what the signs were, not the signs about whether or not you're going to meet a tall, handsome stranger and make a lot of money, but the signs as to whether or not it was going to be a good year for growing crops or not. If you could accurately track those planetary alignments, you would know what years were going to be trouble if you were trying to grow food. And that's it. That's the show. We could talk about anything else now. Hello, Gail Southern Living. What are you up to? Did you get frost? Let's see. Sassafras Red says the Smurfs are to blame. They la their way over there and just made all the plants go. Let me see here. See, sometimes I need to go back over here and take a look at the chat from YouTube because it doesn't always pop up on StreamYard. All right. All right. So Sassafras Red says he's going to plant some hazelnuts tomorrow. Is that the 3 hazelnuts you already have, or did you get some more? Trust in God First says, howdy, first time visitor sent by Free Handling May. Just said, cool. Hysterical average instead of historical average. Yeah. Yeah. The current weather patterns are an exception to the usual. All right. So Gail says no frost, but you're prepared for it just in case. That's a good plan. I did not prepare for it last year whenever we got our frost. And of course, Mary called me up and said, Jason, there's going to be a frost. You should probably do something. And I had already transplanted everything. I said, oh, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I checked the almanac and it says we're past our frost day. It'll be fine. Oh, yeah, it was not fine. Okay, so Sassafras Red's getting the ones he ordered along with 2 mimosa and 1 dwarf cherry, and they showed up yesterday. Shoot, if you want mimosas, I've got a ton of them right over there in the little woods section that's in between here and the highway. Gail Southern Living says she figured out a new weird container to plant in this weekend. You hope. What did you figure out to plant in? Because I know you've got this new weird container challenge that you're doing. Oi, meow. Hello, kitty. Kitty wants to say hello. You want to say hello, kitty? You want to say hello? You want to say hello? I got a fat cat here. I didn't know that mimosa were good for medicine. I know they're a good nitrogen fixer, and they make pretty little flowers, and other than that, they grow fast. But I didn't know they were good for medicine. I'll have to look that up. Freehand Levay is saying, I'm not planting in ground until the last frost date. My fellow gardeners here said, just don't do it any other, so I'm going to listen to them. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how long this is going to last. It could be a couple of years. It could be maybe 5. Probably won't be more than 5. Depends upon exactly how deep we are into it. We really noticed things 2 years ago. I mean, really starting to pick up. Last year was, of course, pretty rough. And then this year, obviously, things are weird. So that's we're at least 3 years in. We probably have 2 more years to go. If this is the worst it's going to get, we'll have 2 more years to go. If it's not, then we'll have 3 more years to go after the next year. Could be a 7-year thing. I think I've read somewhere that these things last for about 7 years. But once upon a time, we kept track of things like this. And I mean, we do technically keep track of things with the almanacs. But I don't know that the almanacs are keeping track of the major solar cycles. So, Sassafras Red is saying, what's your opinion on Korean natural farming, fermented inputs like fish, amino acids, and lab? I like fermented inputs, particularly plant nutrients. I usually have 2 or 3 barrels, if not more. 30 right now. I'm using 30-gallon drums. I'd like to have 55-gallon drums full, but I'll pack them all the way up with plant material, green plant material, not dead material, but fresh green plant material. And then I'll toss in a little sugar to get things kick started. Handful or 2 of dirt to make sure we got some microbes in there to get the process cooking. And then I'll top it off with water and put the lid on it, and then just let them stew in there. Within a few weeks, you can start pulling out of that. If you're watching David the Good, and I know a lot of you are, because that is fetid swamp water, and it does stink to high heaven. But you can leave it in those vats for at least 2 years, and after 2 years, everything will have broken down, and you'll have all of your solids will have settled to the bottom of the barrel. And that's just a sludge. There's no longer any discernible plant material left. It's just a sludge at the bottom, and the rest is a nice liquid organic fertilizer full of minerals, full of nitrogen, full of phosphorus, full of potassium. It's great stuff, and you can use that as a direct foliar feed. And after that 2-year period, it doesn't stink anymore, or at least it doesn't smell quite so bad. It has a nice earthy smell to it. 1 more year after that, it stops stinking entirely. Yeah, so definitely fermented plants is good. I don't have access to a lot of fish, so doing fish emulsion is not something that I do. Although if I did, I would definitely use a lot of fish emulsion because it's a great way to add nitrogen. Anything that's got a lot of protein, if you put it in a vat and ferment it, is going to produce good nutrients for your plants eventually. Okay, Robert is saying this is the big one. What you mean? This is the big grand minimum cycle, or this is the big year, or the worst of the years? All right, and then some projections are in the decade range is still stable. Problem with projections: if you don't have the data to work from, it's hard to make one. Oh, thank you, Gail. You shared the live stream. This one's going to be kind of a more of a, we're going to sit here and chat for a while live stream instead of I'm going to give you a lot of information. Although I might repeat what I said at the very beginning, which is about the tidal influences of the planets on the surface of the sun. There's not really a whole lot much more than I can say than a long time ago. We're talking thousands of years ago. People are tracking the movement of the planets, and they're writing these things down and keeping track of them, and they place a great amount of importance on them. But eventually, the reason behind why they were doing that was lost. We didn't know why. So all we knew was you follow the movement of the planets, and it's supposed to tell you things about the future. And that's how we have astrology now, instead of an accurate system of predicting weather patterns, which is what it started out being. It's now become a superstitious means of, I don't know, defrauding old ladies of their money. So Hespress Red said to me, fish amino acid last fall doesn't have a bad smell. Shad and organic brown smuggle, or I can't talk, organic brown sugar in equal parts. Interesting. How long did that take to break down? Shad. Hey, kitty, what are you doing? What are you doing? Huh? Okay. So what's under my desk that's got you so worked up, huh? What is it? What is it, kitties? Now I have to wait for responses. It's still working. Okay. So I guess we'll find out. You're going to get some video of that, right? Jazz Press Red has started making some videos of his Food Forest project, so we're going to be able to follow along and see what he's doing, which is kind of exciting. He's got a whole half acre to work with. All right, Robert is saying the conjunction of many solar cycles in addition to grand solar minimum, ADAPT 2030, Oppenheimer Ranch Project, I see as farmers, some of those folks doing projections. Oh, okay. All right, Morris Patch of Heaven says, good evening, everyone. Hello, Morris Patch of Heaven. And Saspis Fred says that shad and organic brown sugar mix is getting stirred every couple of weeks. All right. So I guess we will find out before too awfully long how good that is. Well, I know it's going to be good for your garden. It'll be awesome. Just I guess the question is how long does it take for the shad to break down completely and then you can use it? It shouldn't take too awful long. I would think maybe a month, maybe two tops. I'm just surprised that it isn't smelling. Aw, Free Henley Maid was shouting me out earlier. That's so nice of her. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I think you saw the community post I put out a couple of days ago. We've passed the $100 mark for income from YouTube finally, which means that we'll be getting our very first YouTube paycheck. And part of what we're going to be giving away will be some of these. I think after shipping and handling and everything, these are like $25. So I'll be giving away 4 of those. That'll eat up the entire paycheck. Or maybe I'll give away 2 of these and some other stuff and use the rest of it for shipping and handling for a few other things. Because I do have a few other things I can give away other than just t-shirts, blah. I mean, everybody has t-shirts. I've got one of those big seed vault packages of seeds that I can ship out. I have a couple of collections of heirloom tomatoes that I can ship out, and I've got like about 50 different individual seed packs. I was thinking maybe I could do something like use those as door prizes. Basically, everybody who shows up to the live stream and says, I would like a pack of seeds, I'll ship you a pack of seeds. whenever we do that giveaway. And it's going to be sometime probably about 2 weeks from now. Possibly, maybe, I don't know for sure. I'm gonna try to coordinate it with Mary's next home time so that she can be watching the comments in live whenever that goes on. And that particular live stream is going to be demonetized because I'll be playing with either this thing, which I just got this past weekend. This is a Tagima, not Takimine, but Tagima. It's actually Brazilian made guitar. It's reinforced wood, but the top is spruce. Acoustic electrics, got the little electrics package there. Not too bad for a cheap guitar. I'll either be playing this, or I might be busting out the old Alvarez because we while we were over there at the guitar shop, I got a new set of strings for it. That's nice low action older model Alvarez. Yeah, it was only $300. That's inexpensive for guitars. Oh, fresh strings. They always stretch. There we go. All right. So Mary says, "Oh, you could get another. Oh, you could get a. Okay, I understand what you're saying. You could get another horn for that." Yeah, Mary plays trumpet and dabbles with the French horn a little bit. I think you should try the saxophone, although that uses a reed and it's not a sort of thing. Yeah, yeah. I had some trouble with it. I think it was when I was changing out the G string. Don't laugh. The pin kept popping out and flying across the room. It didn't want to stay in place. Sassafras Red says, shout out to all the sousaphone players. What in the world is a sousaphone anyway? I don't know. What's a sousaphone? I don't know. Apparently Robert doesn't like them. You saying the saxophone has too many buttons? I thought I saw something not too long ago. There was somebody had a video up where they were showing a minimalist saxophone. That I think you can play it with one hand. I'm not sure. But altogether, I believe there's only like 13 notes, depending upon what key it's in. So it's can't have that many buttons. Okay, if you're counting sharps and flats, there's additional. Tugboat players. Hey, we got a train passing by here. These guys, they don't know what time it is. They were supposed to have that freight through half an hour ago. Over half an hour ago. Don't worry, it's probably not very long. Maybe. Can you hear the train? Kind of making the house shake a little bit. We're right next to the tracks. I guess it could be worse. They could still have the KD rail line running. That was the one that ran just north of the house. And then we've got this new one here to the south of the house. Oh, we got frozen. All right, let me double check. Can you guys still hear me? All right. Mary's saying they used to be done by 3 back when the steel mill was over there. Really? So, all right, so you guys can hear me. So why are they running so late now? They bulldozed that entire steel mill. All right. Oh, you were kidding about the train. Oh, hang on a second. Let me get this chair up here a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right, it says my cousin Vinny. I have no idea why. All right. So I'm working on the list of songs that I intend to play, or I might play, for our first YouTube paycheck giveaway extravaganza. All right, so let me know what you think of these. Guns N' Roses, Patience. Anybody like that song? I can actually kind of sort of play that one. Cool Change by Little River Band. Maybe. I don't know. We've got Tears for Fears, Mad World. I've done Hallelujah already. I'm a little bit better at it now. I guess I could run through that one more time. Rick of the Edmund Fitzgerald. It's the wrong time of year for that song. We won't do that one. Maybe Turn the Page, possibly. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, Turn the Page, might do that one. Love Hurts by Nazareth. I mean, that's a classic, right? Wicked Game by Chris Isaacs. I'm not going to do Inagata Vida. You just forget that right now. No Iron Butterfly. It's not happening, Sean. It's not happening. Let me see here. Of course, there's Every Rose Has Its Thorn. I did that one at the guitar shop. It came out okay, I guess. And I think today I was working on the chorus to, you can't read this. Ha! You can't read it. Can You Feel the Love Tonight, which is Elton John. But Hotel California. Really? Maybe. I'll think about it. I was also thinking about doing, well, I might have to break out the fiddle for it, but there's. Ever since the days of old, been to search for wealth untold. You know that one. Somebody remind me, what's the title of that song? Seminole Wind. Yeah, that was it. I don't have it written down yet. I think playing that much of it won't get me demonetized today. Wow, everybody wants Hotel California. Really? Seminole Wind. Yeah. Hotel California. Let me see. I'm sure I could find Hotel California real quick here. Sure. Let's let that page load. Let's see. It's got an A minor, an E7, a G, a D, an F chord, a C chord, and a D minor in it. Well, that would take a little bit of practice, but I might be able to do it. Hello, Lisa Kukla. Hello. You better be sorry you're late. Dag nabbit. We've been waiting for you this entire time. Did you bring the catfish bait? Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh. Gail says, Taz says, Werewolves of London. Nice. A good choice. A little Warren Zevon action. That's a good choice. I like that. I may begin. Thank you. Why, thank you. I practiced my curtsy. Mm. Oh, wow. There's Joe Serrano. Okay. Yeah. How's that one go? Saw a werewolf having dinner with the queen. His hair was perfect. Oh. I think the chords are actually fairly simple on that one, too. I believe they're actually fairly similar to. Oh no, that's Sweet Home Alabama. Never mind. I'll look up. I'll look it up. I can't think of how the chords go. I can think of the melody up here, but I'm having a hard time or thinking of the music in my head. All right, so now that we've got more people in here, Lisa finally got her beagle to finally shut up. You could bring your beagle over and have her chase rats in the backyard for me if you like. I don't mind. They were eating on our onions this past weekend. I think Mary put up a video on her channel showing the moment the onion got sucked down into the ground. She actually caught it happening live when it happened. That was horrible. We've got an outdoor kitty cat that does not hunt rats. It'll go after moles, but not rats. And moles just eat bugs. All right. So up at the top of the chat, anything to burn off his energy. Up at the very top of the chat, I put a link up there for Old Farmer's Almanac. If you follow that link, it will take you to a spot where you can plug in your zip code, and it should tell you what your historical first and last frost date averages are. Just averages. Just the averages. Not what the real first and last frost dates are, but what the averages are. You can always look up historical data for your location. Check with your local weather service, and they should be able to tell you what the actual dates were for the first and last frosts. That's what that information is calculated from. But of course, Farmer's Almanac does the work for you. The Farmer's Almanac does the work for you. There we go. Hang on a second here. Let me find. There it is. Let me grab this guy real quick here. I grab a link. This is a link to that scene where a rat ate one of our onions and Mary caught it. Let's see, right there. If you open that up in a separate link, or on a separate tab, you'll be able to watch it. But that's where that rat, and we didn't see the rat. It was completely underground, so far under that we did not see it. So it's somewhere under the garden. Reached up, grabbed a hold of the bottom of one of our onions, ate the onion bulb, and took off like a bandit. And I found another onion this morning that had been eaten on, one of the older ones. So we have to do something about those little boogers. All right, so link at the top of chat. You follow that, gets you your first and last historical frost dates by putting in your zip code. But they're not always accurate, and the reason is because of solar cycles. And of course, Test Press Red mentioned earlier also volcanic activity, but solar cycles you can always count on happening. And those are caused by microgravity of the planets that circle the sun. Sometimes they happen to line up. And whenever they do line up, that microgravity is exerted more strongly than it does at other times. Whenever they're not lined up, each one puts on a little bit of pull, but at a different spot. Whenever they line up, they're all pulling at the same spot, much like the moon having a tidal effect upon the water on Earth. The planets have a tidal effect on the plasma and the corona of the sun. This is what causes us to have more extreme cycles and then less extreme cycles. And it's all based upon how the planets move around the sun. Ed's Crazy Homestead says, hey, Jason. Hello, Ed's Crazy Homestead. You keeping it between the mayo and the mustard out there? All right. I can't talk. Sassafras Red was saying, I was thinking of using cattle panels to make a blueberry arbor. Instead of one panel, I was going to connect two lengthwise, use a metal pole to support the sun. You think it's worth a try? I suppose. Are you having trouble keeping your blueberries supported? I guess would be the big question. Or are you mainly wanting to have that maybe an arch coming up and over and having the canopy filled in by blueberries instead of something else? Because I think blueberries would be pretty cool to have, walk around, pick them right off the arch. I know a lot of people just put up a pole if they need to support the blueberries. They're not really they're more of a bush than a vine. Pardon me while I get the crud out of my eyes. Wow. It's a miracle. I can see. I can see again. All right, let me see here. Hang on here. Okay, sorry. Connecting the ends so I could get a 28 to 30 foot length to yeah. Whenever you have two 16-foot, well, they're like 16 and a quarter, I think, panels, and you have them connected end to end, they have a tendency to get a bit floppy. If you overlap them a little bit by about 4 feet, it'll make it a little bit more stable. So instead of bending 32 feet, you 31, 39, 28. 28 would be probably the minimum that I want to go. And they're still going to be a little bit floppy, so you're going to want to put some poles or posts down and anchor them. They'll wiggle around a bit. Would have been hilarious if it spit the top back up through the hole. No, it wouldn't. Okay, maybe for you, but for us, it was just, no. Our plants are being eaten right in front of us, and we can't do anything about it. It's like trimmers. The thing's coming up from underground and grabbing it, just pulling it right down. All right. And Smurfs, those little blue bastages. Hello, John Conrad. You need to post a video of my ones made from. Oh, that would be cool. Yeah. EMT conduit and wood frames. That would work. That would work. Also, Quebec Homestead did one earlier. I think it was earlier. This a couple of months ago. She did it, where she took the reinforcement mesh from construction project. It was construction reinforcement mesh, and use that the way we use cattle panels, because apparently up there around Quebec, finding cattle panels is a daunting task. That they're expensive when you can find them. $30 a piece. I mean, that's incredibly. That's insane. That's expensive. You can't afford to build trellises that way. But she found that you could get the reinforcement mesh from construction, where you put that down in your concrete, and get that for about $5. So she built her trellises out of that. Now it's not quite as rigid as a cattle panel, but you support it with a post, and it does just fine. Oh, also, if you wanted to go high, higher than a T-post will get you, a 2-inch PVC pipe slid over a T-post will get you another 10 feet up. And of course, you could always put a little, say, 2-foot spacer down there. Use a 6.5-foot post, sink that down by about 2 or 3 feet, and use a 2-foot spacer Just cut off a 2-foot piece, slide it down a pipe, slide it down there, and then put your other 10 feet of PVC pipe over that, and that will get you up to 12 foot. And then you can attach whatever you want to onto that. Uh, I don't think you're going to need to build any trellis more than 12 feet up in the air. Well, I hope not. Not a whole lot of things need to go up that high. Maybe if you're running some hop vines, possibly might want to go up that far. All right. What's going on out there? I must have missed somebody's comment, so I'm going to go over here to YouTube and look. Wear gloves, somebody says. All right. Okay. Oh, John says he's here, but he's mobile, so he won't be making comment. Driving around. Yeah. All right. Not supported to keep the birds off of them. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, I got you. Kind of like a framework to put your bird netting on for the blueberries. You could do that. I haven't had problems with birds attacking my blueberry bushes so far. I've got a little well, not a little. He's about 2.5 foot tall concrete rattlesnake standing guard over the blueberry bushes I have that have been producing, and the birds haven't come close to him yet. I don't know if they will in the future. I've been told that they will, but I haven't seen it happening yet. So, eventually, one of them is bound to take a bite. Okay. Let's see here. Put frames in the empty conduits. Okay. Wear gloves. All right. Lisa's saying Tractor Supply has 10 foot T-posts. What? 10 foot? That's just too much. You have to get up on a step ladder to be able to drive those in. All right. So Sasspress Red said I was going to run a chain link top rail as a center beam and use the same for the ends. Okay. And got the best harvest last year after putting chicken wire over the blueberries. All right. Yeah, if you've got food for animals to eat, animals are going to come eat the food. It's just okay. Lisa says it was an adventure pounding those things. I'll bet. Well, you can put the end into the ground if the ground's soft enough, and step if you got a good sole on your boot. Step on the edge and get it started, and that'll kind of hold it in place while you go climb the ladder. But yeah, that would be I can imagine a pain to get stuck in there. Okay. Whitewater Crafting. Gail says can't find Whitewater Crafting's channel. Aw. Sasspress Red's going to post a video in the next couple of days just for us. Or is it just for me? I can't wait to see how these new blueberries are turning out. The frost did not kill them. They managed to get through the frost just fine. The new willow tree got through the frost just fine. The canna lilies, the greens on the canna lilies look like they might have damaged a little bit. I don't know if they're going to recover from that or if they're just going to have to start all over. I like the berry tunnel idea too. I like it very much. Okay. Train your berry bushes to make a tunnel. Shoot. Train all your little shrubs and bushes to give you a nice little covered, shaded walkway. Okay. Whitewater Crafting says, hi, Gail Southern Living. Yeah, that's the first time I've heard that. Or that's not the first time I've heard that. YT is weird. All right. Let me see if I can find Whitewater Crafting. I sometimes hunt down links. All right. See, the problem is whitewater always gets you typing in whitewater always winds up getting you the links for canoeing channels. So let me see here. I think it's going to take a lot of scrolling to find it. Or I could do this. How about this? Whitewater crafting. If you could see if you can type your link into chat, and then as soon as it pops up, if somebody could approve the comment, that would be just fine. Or I could always do this too. There you go. You can type the link in now. Go ahead and put your channel link up there so people can find you. By the way, guys, if you've got wrenches and you want to run somebody's channel links, by all means, go for it, including your own. There you go. There's Whitewater Crafting's YouTube channel link so people can find it. Yeah, and Mary changed her name. It used to be just Tulsa Fox, but every time you search Tulsa Fox, you wound up with Fox 23 News Channel, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and you'd have to just sit there and scroll all day long before you ever found her channel, unless somebody had the link and could give you the link. There you go. Sassafras Red says planting strawberries under our blueberries. I planted strawberries. And violets and wintergreen. I planted all three of those for ground cover under the blueberries. And of course, daylilies on one side and canna lilies on the other. Strawberries. They're not really made out of straw. Someone took it off. What did they take off, Rescue Pepper? Oh. Message deleted by the Google moderator team. That's weird. Yeah, it disappeared. Hopefully somebody was able to click on it and locate the channel. That is nuts. Yeah, live chat, and the Google moderator team comes along and just yanks it out. Create synergistic transformation is saying strawberries with leeks, rhubarb, and asparagus here. Oh, that's a nice combination. I like it. That's bizarre. Well, if anybody already got Whitewater Crafting's channel, there you go. Ha. There we go. I'll put that in a new tab here. It's Google moderator team. They're bots. They're Google bots. Google runs its own bot. I don't know. Yeah, I just expended my tea, but that's okay. I came prepared. I happen to have, to the ends of Hades, I happen to have another beverage. This breaks my diet, but I don't know how much because there isn't calorie information on it. Mm. It's ginger beer. Yum yum yum. Good for your digestion. All right. Let me see here. That was the correct link. There you go. Whitewater crafting. Yeah, looks like it. It's got the little heart, the little blue heart and water thing going on. Doing some all kinds of painting and stuff. Being all artsy. If it doesn't have info, it doesn't have calories. There you go. I like it. Yeah, we've had multiple casualties, and a lot of them have occurred when I wasn't watching or paying attention. I had 4 blocks with those onions planted 8 inches apart, so they're 8 by 8, 64 plants in 4 separate blocks, and now it looks like about half of them have been eradicated. So I don't know. I'm just gonna keep on planting, space them a foot apart, and hope for the best. I found out that the further apart you space the Egyptian walking onions, um, Allium proliferum, the further apart you space those, the larger the central stalk gets. So I've got some that are about that big around at 8 inch spacing. I'm just imagining if I get them a full foot apart, we might get them to close to leek size, and that's perfect for eating if you're wanting to harvest the entire onion. How do you control comfrey? Don't plant it. Yeah, you can dig it out. You can use occultation to get rid of just about anything. Um, well, yeah, that goes for any kind of allium, whether it's an onion, regular bulb onion, a perennial onion, or garlic. Anything you've got that's in the allium family, space it. I mean, give it some space. They don't like being crowded at all. I don't want her harassing the cats. I've got a cat that kind of works. Oh, we also have a rooster that likes to free range. I have to put Bird up. Any plant that you have that's creating a problem, you can always use occultation to get rid of it, and that's just simply getting a piece of uh, dark tarp material that light can't pass through, and spreading it out over the place that you want to kill off whatever is growing there. And it usually takes between 2 weeks to a month of having that cover over it, and it will kill off whatever vegetation is there. If you have a clear plastic covering over that area, you will not only wind up killing the grass or whatever plant life it is, but you'll wind up sterilizing the soil underneath for about an inch or two. That's called solarizing. So that's only if you really absolutely need to kill whatever is under there would you use the clear plastic. But black plastic or silage tarp works really well. I believe Haas Tools was selling them last year. They had little segments of silage tarp that they cut down to make them manageable, and you could buy a chunk of silage tarp from them for occultation purposes. So yeah, smothering always works. Takes time, but it works. Things like Bermuda grass, you can't smother them overnight. You have to leave it on for at least one full season, possibly 2 full seasons to really get rid of it, because Bermuda grass is just tenacious stuff. Doesn't want to give up. Mm. So comfrey, great for compost and healing sap. I mean, yeah, it is a dynamic accumulator. It has a lot of micronutrients that it collects that is good for your compost. But if it winds up taking off and taking over, then you might want to have some means of keeping it in check. Old billboard tarp. There you go. Yeah. $40 for a comically large piece of UV stabilized reinforced vinyl. Nice. That would do the trick. Sassafras Red is going to do that for the prairie grass patch after I set it on fire some more. Just make sure you've got the hose handy because running the flamer can get out of hand really fast. Mullen, Britain Farms says hello, everyone. And Whitewater Crafty is talking about pulling Japanese honeysuckle. Oh, God. Okay. Maybe. Gail is wondering what Mullen is used for. Mullen is used for the lungs as a treatment for the throat and the lungs. You can also get an oil. You use the from the flowers, extract the oil with a little bit of sweet oil or olive oil, and use that in your ears for ear infections. But mullein leaf is also good for toilet paper. It's nice and soft, and it's been used in smoking mixes by natives for thousands of years. The mixture of putting some tobacco nicotinum and mullein leaf and maybe a few other components together in your bag of herbs that you would smoke is called kinnikinnick, and it has a tendency to make the other herbs less harsh when smoked. Oh yes, we would never possibly dream of breaking the law. Mullein can be used for fishing. So can walnut husks, apparently. Not that you want to do that. Craze Family Home says sent me mullein seeds. Oh, that's nice. I don't see it growing wild very much here in flatland, but if I go up in the hills, I can find it. Just about any yeah, Tobacum rustica is not a smooth smoke. That's probably why they mixed it in there. It made it go down easier. Um, Little tiny leaves on that Tobacum rustica too. Anyway, if I go up into the hills and find a clearing, about every other clearing, there'll be some mullein growing in it. All over the Tahlequah area. Oh yeah, yeah. It's all over the hills, but you don't see it down here on the river bottom so much. Down on the river bottom, you'll see all kinds of sorrel, dock, curly dock, and yellow dock. You'll find a lot of that, but not mullein. Hey, we're almost at an hour, guys. Woo! Arf, arf, arf. Let's see. Britain Farms just got here. So, if you're wondering what's going on with the first and last raw states and why it isn't matching up, it's all to do with the grand solar cycles, which is influenced by the planets and their gravitational effect on the sun, which is something that we used to track. See, I'm going to repeat myself about 2 or 3 times. We used to track this here on planet Earth, and we used to pay close attention to it and could tell that there was going to be an event like this coming up and plan for it years ahead of time. But in the modern era, they just use that information about the alignment of the planets to determine whether or not you should buy junk bonds. And so now people suffer. Lisa's saying, if I do see it around here, should I adopt it? I feel like I've seen some lately nearby. I mean, there's no harm in having a little bit of mullein growing nearby. I didn't sing you a song. Oh my goodness. Okay, fine. I'll sing you something. Doc is very good. I like using Doc as an antifungal. You'll notice whenever you find dock, it's always growing in lowland situations, particularly in ditches, places where it's really humid. And it's a broadleaf plant, but it doesn't suffer from powdery mildew. And the reason is because it produces its own antifungal. So if you have problems with fungi that are not wanting to play nice, you can use some dock to keep that fungi in check, as opposed to using something harsher. I put on pants today to see if they still fit. You like the song? I focus on my waist. It pinches when I sit. I've lost all self-control. My diet was in vain. Try to try to reason with myself, but I'm still eating everything. How big will I grow, my dearest friend? All the clothes I own grow too small in the end. You can have them all, my retired shirts. I'm an extra large. I should skip dessert. I wear this lumbar brace to help my aching back. That pineapple cheesecake, well, that was just a snack. Beneath this seat of mine, my feet just disappear. Try to blame it on the cake, but I suspect it's probably beer. How big have I grown, my dearest friend? Everything I own grows too small in the end. You can have them all, my retired shirts. I'm an extra large. I should skip dessert. If I could start again, work out every day, then you'd see in time how much less I weigh. Okay, there we go. I played something. I figured doing a parody with a slightly different arrangement, I could probably get past the, the copyright strike. Rusty Pepper says, quit drying your clothes in the dryer. That's what it is. I don't need to dye it. I just need to put my clothes out on the clothesline instead. I played that one a couple of months back. Robert was like, no, I like it, but it's just wrong. Britton says, I have the feeling the song is about me. Oh, no, that song is entirely, it's entirely about me. It's all about me. No, really. Yeah. I can't see my feet. all that good stuff. Cat is hurt. What? Uh... He called me out like the celebrities would say. Hey, we all feel the pain, right? Oh. I'm sorry, Robert. I know. It's like it's just it feels wrong to me too, but it feels so right because it is all about the pain, right? All right, guys. I want to thank you for stopping by and spending some time with me tonight. Hopefully this problem with Grand Solar Mullen winds up being over sometime in the next 2 years, but if not, probably in the next 4 years. That's crossing our fingers. In the meantime, just keep an eye on the weather reports and keep your tender plants indoors until you're absolutely certain that they are not going to get frostbit. And plant more perennials because they can handle it better than those tender plants. That's all I have got for you tonight. As always, if you found this video informative or entertaining, you know what to do. I will catch you next time.